think we're live. I'm going to go ahead and take a wild guess we are. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Ding Dong the Witch is going to be resigning on June the 7th. Joining me for that, and to talk about other things first, because I don't want to spoil the main event just yet, is Trups LP. Say hello, Trups LP.
Hello, Trups LP.
And how is Trups LP?
You know what? I'm doing pretty well. It's a weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend, which is
Memorial Day?
mostly people. Yeah, it's our Remembrance Day for those who have fallen in combat.
Ah, okay. I've just realised I normally have an echo whenever I stream with you, so I've just had to put some earphones in quickly.
Ah, yes. Well, it's usually known by most people as a 3-day weekend, but for the there's usually parades on the Monday. So there's a lot of patriotism.
That sounds
usually
sounds racist and cool at the same time. Racist to be patriotic and cool to see something patriotic.
Yeah. The summer is really patriotic for America. I just realized, which is kind of cool.
You should send me some pictures of it. It'd be nice to see.
Oh yeah.
Hello, Serene, Maggie, Tiger Lily, Swan, Angry Scotsman, Beechin, Trups' best friend, Lily. Have we left yet? Joe, Alexandra, hello Karma, and hello, who was it? Devonor, yes, and Atomic Bomb Radio, and Psychomakers. So what are you drinking this evening?
I have a bit of Tennessee Fire from Jack Daniel.
I like that one. It's very good to shoot, especially when you go if you go night fishing. Hello Simon Wilkins. When I go night fishing, it warms you right up. I bought Single Barrel Select, but I haven't tried it yet, and the cork doesn't pop as well, so... Oh, I knocked the microphone instead. You have to get so close with it as well, and it just doesn't work as well.
Yes, well, I heard it. It was a satisfying pop.
Really? I knocked the microphone as well.
That could have been half of the pop that I heard.
Okay, well,
hello, everyone.
Yes.
In chat.
Yes. I'd say I'm happy few people, but I wait to see who a replacement is and what they're like. Right, well, we'll get to that soon enough, because I know who's running. Well, 3 names anyway, and hello, Vincent. Before we get into all of that, though, perhaps instead we will start with what Trups wants to talk about, which I can't put on screen because I forgot to set the scene before I started. Do you want to tell everyone what we're going to talk about first?
So there's a list of House Democrats that are calling for an impeachment inquiry into our president. It's been a strange push towards impeachment proceedings as of recently. Like that conversation has popped up in a lot of headlines that I've seen. And I'm not quite sure why now, especially so close to the 2020 election.
I did notice at the start of the week, or maybe possibly just before, that there were calls made by a Michigan Republican, I believe, to impeach Trump. It was all over Twitter, and he listed an extensive list of names and reasons why Trump should be, because of the Mueller report. Because
this was Justin Amash.
Yes, and him being a lawyer, he took this stance about Trump intentionally stonewalling the investigation, and well, the word doubt was in my head the whole time, but I don't know much about Amash, so I can't say much past this.
And to pseudonymity 0000, happy birthday tomorrow.
Oh yes, happy birthday for tomorrow. Pseudonymity.
Indeed.
That's quite the name, actually.
Kind of awesome, actually. I like it.
Very unique. So who is Amash anyway?
He's a Michigan Republican, but remember how I was explaining to you what a rhino was, RIN?
Yes.
A lot of people are calling him that.
Okay.
Which, I mean, it probably has water, but I haven't taken a close look at Amash's politics to be able to discern that. A lot of people are just calling him that because he's going against the political line against President Trump, which, I mean, that's a fair point, I guess, but it's not much.
I probably should have looked into him, to be honest, but I'll be honest, I wasn't.
It was like a headline, and then only some outlets cared to continue with that headline.
Yeah,
everyone else was just like, fancy Pelosi, Trump battling it out.
It didn't last long, did it? I
No,
saw
much of this
there,
hasn't.
there was no coverage of Amash, even though it's a Republican, considering the fact that most of the votes happening at the moment are going right down party lines. You would have thought this would...
There are some, I don't even want to call it reaching across the aisle a little bit, because the Senate Intelligence Committee, the one that is chaired by Lindsey Graham,
Right.
was the one that agreed to subpoena Donald Trump Jr., of which even the majority leader of the Senate, was Mitch McConnell, was a little wary of, but I don't know if that's necessarily an attempt to placate the left, give them something of what they want, knowing that there's nothing there.
Oh, you mean like a bone?
Yeah, or I don't know, some other purpose. I'm sure they have their reasons.
Yeah. Okay, so the list you have provided me with.
Yes.
What is this?
So this is a list of, let's see here. It looks to be about
hang on.
35.
Thank you /dash who says, "Miss me? Who's daddy?" I think in this instance, I guess that means you are. Thank you for the £2 donation. And hello Fenrir and Hellblazer Jane. Hope you're all well. Please continue. I do apologize.
That's all right. 35 Democrats that are calling for the impeachment. This is from CNN.
Well, I'll link it in the chat for people who are at all interested in going and having a look themselves. Yep, it's done.
So it basically gives up about those people and what they have specifically said regarding impeachment. There's a couple notable ones here, like number 2, Ted Lieu of California.
Yeah.
Most people, if they followed American politics, they would know that that was the one who called Candace Owens a white supremacist in a House committee meeting.
Thank you /dash. Ted Lieu, that's not a very good name. Not gonna lie. Lieu, really?
He's Asian.
Yeah, but no,
it's Lieu.
Yeah, but that's spelt French.
Oh, I never considered that. Oh, yeah, you're right. Because, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I hope his first name's Teddy, and I'm going to say it in advance. Hello, thank you again /dash, and hello Miss Steam, and Lily. Hope you're well. Yeah, carry on.
Hey, man, donations happen.
Yeah.
And he said,
thanks again /dash.
Apparently, Jesus.
So he called.
Oh my God, I see it now.
Yeah, he called Candace Owens a white supremacist.
Yeah, the black lady.
I'm supposed to call her an Uncle Tom. That's like the most common thing you call someone, a black person who's appeasing the white person.
But that's an actual racist slur.
True. Thank you.
A white supremacist is not a racial slur, apparently.
That's right. It's very strange. Hello, Wondering Lisa, and thank you again /dash. It's a strange thing to call someone. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Candace Owen. I'm really not.
No, I can't help but remember what she did earlier on in her political career on YouTube.
Yeah, we all remember that. It's very hard to believe them, knowing what they've done. And I know that... okay, so a great example would be the current goings-on concerning Sargon of Akkad. Carl Benjamin. Let's just call him Sargon of Carl. Of Carl of Akkad.
Yes.
Where he has said some absolute... I look fabulous. Thank you, Miss Steam. I'm glorious. My legs are popping. Where he has said some truly stupid shit. And yet... he's... Oh, thank you /dash. Feet pics needed. Well, perhaps in time I'll dox my feet for that.
Ew.
Yeah, no. Hey, whatever. Yeah, he's donated. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess, yeah. He has said some stupid things. He has done some stupid things, and he's running for political office. And he made a point during an interview where no one in political office or running for political office, no one is squeaky clean. There are hypocrites everywhere. Great example for hypocrite would be a socialist who's also a millionaire. Cough, cough. Bernie, cough cough. It's understandable that, you know, they're all going to have demons. Candace Owen is no different, being public figure. So but then it's very hard to trust people based on what they have done, regardless of whether they have reformed. It comes down to what they have done to either atone or what they have done to show that they have changed. And hello, Twilight Creep. Do you have feet or tentacles? Take off my shoe and find out. And hello, Sea Bastard. Kids going hungry tonight. Fantastic. Please continue. I'm sorry, I just wanted to put that out there.
No, that's all right. But no politician is really squeaky clean. They're in politics after all, and it's been a very long time since politicians have actually been politicians for the sake of the people they represent.
Well, that's another point, isn't it? That
sure,
people seem to forget that yes, politicians are serving their communities, but that's not one of the reasons why they go. They not only do they want to serve their community, but they also want power. They want challenges. They want, much like a business. What do you want to do when you join a company? You want to get to the top. So, I guess.
Well, one of the interesting comments I remember from when I was younger and I was in a psychology class, they mentioned that the people who end up getting to the top of most things, whether that be CEOs and businesses or politicians, are usually some form of sociopath or psychopath.
Oh, right.
Just because of the way that they basically imperialize and not objectify, but prioritize certain things over others, just for the sake of gaining that kind of movement in a power setting. And it has merit. Don't get me wrong, because there's definitely a certain amount of lack of apathy, I guess you could say, for the people working under you in order to excel yourself forward.
Right.
Because if everyone was pushing each other up, then you would never necessarily get there yourself.
Very true. So who else is on this list? Oh, and hello, Eddie Jake and Paula Fletcher. Hope you're both well.
Another interesting one would be, of course, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York.
Oh, scrolling down.
Number 10.
Yeah. So what was her reasoning?
She says, Mueller's report is clear in pointing to Congress's responsibility in investigating obstruction of justice by the president. It is our job as outlined in Article 1, Section 2, Clause 5 of the United States Constitution. As such, I'll be signing on to Rashida Tlaib's impeachment resolution. She tweeted that on April 18th.
Not long ago. Okay. Another retard signing an impeachment. The impeachment thing's going to go on forever.
It will, especially when he wins 2020.
Yeah, so say he wins 2020. Are they going to then double down to impeach him, or are they just going to accept the next 4 years?
I don't know. They might actually try to impeach him in the second term, because usually a president will try and push forward any kind of policies that they believe in their second term.
Well, yeah, simply because
right, they have nothing to lose.
It's also the fact that their job is done. You know, they're in control. They've got they're basically the ultimate winner. No one can beat them at that point. You know, in the election terms, that is. They go out undefeated in that regard.
Right, basically. Another one on number excuse me, 24 is Ilhan Omar of Minnesota. Now we all know her. She's the
she's the very progressive
Hamas supporter.
The quote here is, "We know that this president, this administration every day has gone a little closer to being impeached. We won't be having these conversations on whether to do it, but it's going to be when and how." I like this idea that, hello memes of destruction, I like the idea that and Duck Dog, I like that people have gotten this mentality where they're just thinking of ways to get rid of him. That's it. That's all they're thinking about. And because of that, I have this strange feeling they're not thinking about policies themselves. If you want to beat him by having better policy. You don't need a better...
Oh, they don't believe in that, though.
And that's why they're going to... I don't want them... I don't want the Democrats to lose, necessarily, because I have a strange feeling it's not going to teach them a lesson. Hello, Debs Red. I'm not sure how they're going to learn to stop doing this stupid, this, whatever this is. Because this is childish.
I don't think they'll learn. I don't think they'll learn until they've separated themselves so far from everyone else that they almost become that voice, that that internet conspiracy that they accuse the alt-right of.
They're basically going to become Alex Jones, but the more media accepted version. The thing with this is that when Trump, say he leaves in 2024, right? So the Democrats then win. They're going to completely sweep this under the rug and pretend it never happened, proving further that they still are refusing to acknowledge why they lost. Because
the irony,
go on.
Well, the irony there is that they have introduced so many ways for whoever the minority is to then just start ragging on whoever then the Democrat candidate who wins is.
Mm-hmm.
That they've kind of screwed themselves over, and they have done this before. I forget what the resolution was, but it had to do with a filibuster vote, I believe, in the Senate.
Was it the guy who's reading from a cookbook?
Who?
Wasn't there one that filibustered by reading from a cookbook?
Oh, people have actually read the phone book.
Good. I like that our filibusters can only go on up to 4 hours. We have strict rules on them. But some people have... I think Mog's done one. And it succeeded. Which is very impressive.
Yeah, because you guys can't stop.
Well, it's not that you can't stop. You do not... you cannot...
Can't take a breath hardly.
You're breathing through your nose. You are on edge. In the chat, their platform is to call the Republicans, especially Trump, sexist, racist, homophobic, transphobic. The problem with that is that, and they use the pussy grabbing thing a lot. But if memory serves, Trump did in fact apologize for that, for saying it.
Well, he tried to clarify, saying that
But
what he said was that they let you do that kind of thing when you're a celebrity, which isn't a great defense.
To be fair, he was right in the context of what he actually said. People do fawn at your feet and throw themselves at you. But
well,
he
obviously
should not
Kanye West has a song about it. It's called Gold Digger.
Shh, it doesn't happen.
It's a good song.
He's an Uncle Tom too. I mean, sorry, a white supremacist too, remember? Oh dear. I miss Kanye. No, I don't.
Yes, he is though. But no, I like Kanye actually. I think his minor bouts of what people could call insanity is actually quite entertaining.
I like entertainment. So who else on this list of 30 odd, however many people are interesting? I see Rashid Tlaib's on there.
Yeah, Rashid Tlaib. 29 is Maxine Waters.
I'm just gonna say, right here we go. Rashida Tlaib actually said, where she told a crowd, "We're going to impeach the motherfucker," and she's authored her own resolution to start impeachment proceedings. Right, who was the next one? Maxine Waters, please. Yes.
Sorry, was adjusting my coals.
Okay.
I smoke hookah during these streams.
Oh, you do it, man. I don't mind. Got my
Maxine Waters said, when are the people of this country going to wake up to the fact that this president is a disgusting liar, documented to have lied 8,000 times in 2 years? Add to that his recent blatant lies on our national intel's chief testimony in the U.S. Senate. Past time for impeachment, she tweeted in January.
Thank you, Maddie, for not typing that word in the chat. And hello, Maddie. Hope you're well. Hope the trucking's fun. Kara, who's Maxine Waters. She's ancient, isn't she?
Yes, she is, and crazy.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of her. She has crazy eyes.
Yeah, Alexandria Cortez too.
Oh, Brad Sherman. I know that name.
Yeah, that name struck a chord too, but I don't remember why.
I'd have to look him up to be sure, but I've seen his name around. Is Beto O'Rourke on this?
No, he's not.
Really?
Surprisingly.
Is he a Congress or senator?
I believe he's a senator. And
this
is House only.
Right. Okay, so that's why.
But yeah, you basically have a couple from Texas actually calling for impeachment, which is interesting.
Norma Torres. I think I've seen her. I think she may have been in the room when Barr didn't turn up. I think she was one of those in the room casting a vote.
That would make sense.
I think she was. I recognise the name. Hello, Irate Bear. Hope you're well, darling.
But yeah, so that's what it's looking like for the impeachment thing. It's not going to go anywhere, in my opinion.
Everyone says it does, and well, we're now 3 years in here. Come on, let's just stop.
Honestly,
it's
beat him in the ballot.
Yeah, the problem they had, they couldn't beat him because they weren't appealing to enough states. All they need to do is swing a few states and they win.
But they won't do that because their policies aren't good, but they think that their policies aren't strong enough, so they double down hard.
That's the problem, though, because now by not appealing to those other states where they could win some extra points, they're basically demonizing those states. They're alienating them to want to vote for the Reds even more.
Oh yeah, and especially since the economy is doing well. Historically speaking, it's very odd that if economy is going well, that the president will be voted out in one term.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I also do agree with the chat. Karma saying he's not going to be impeached. P-Chen says the Dems need to not have a shit candidate. The problem is, I'm looking at who the more than likely frontrunner is. And one of them is, a borderline sex offender. And the other is, what's his name? The bald guy. Young guy.
Oh, fuck. I don't know.
Cory Booker?
Oh, Booker.
Biden's a joke. He's not going to win it. If he does, sorry, but Trump wins. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Honestly, there was a joke that I had heard, and it was, is your fridge running?
Mm-hmm.
It says no, or yes, why? It goes, well, because I'll vote for it.
Oh, dear God. Hello, Renovatio and Jeff Jones. And
just
David.
Making a joke as to how many fucking people are running on the Democratic ticket.
There are quite a few. Okay, so there's 3 reasonable candidates. I know someone says Kamala Harris, potentially. But the only 3, I'm afraid, are men. Biden, Booker, and Bernie. But I don't think Bernie will win it. His best chance is as a running mate. And Renovatio, rather interestingly, your name, I walked past a van in my town, caught with that very name on it. They do windows. Just thought I'd put it out there.
But yeah, that's basically it for the impeachment proceedings. I'm sure more information will come out in terms of U.S. politics. But yeah. Do you want to talk about your happy news?
All right, fine. We're going to Rabbit. Everyone, you ready for this? It's a 6-minute 54 video of Theresa May's statement. I'm just going to put the chat back up so I can see it. So basically, for context, last night I was watching everything. I was also streaming Eurotruck, but I had other things on my laptop, on my phone, on my tablet, just in case she announced it. And this morning when I got up, I was editing the response video I did, and I had a live stream from the Sun outside number 10 like this, where halfway through this maybe 4 hours of live streaming, they put that plinth there, and I was like, shit's about to go down. And then she came out and did it, and I was like, wow, this should have happened in December. Now, there is a fallout, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what some people have done. We're going to talk about a few things. But I certainly want to address this video with some of the things she says, because I think we all have commentary we want to add. I'm sure Chups, have you seen this yet?
I have not.
Then this is perfect. Pressing play. Oh, and before we even go any further than this, if The Guardian, who I'm watching this from, fucking copyright my thing, I'm gonna flip my shit. This is in 1080p, by the way.
Ever since I first stepped through the door behind me as Prime Minister, I have striven to make the United Kingdom a country that works not just for a privileged few, but for everyone.
No.
And to honour the result of the EU referendum. Back in...
Also no.
Yeah. But the problem here is, you could argue that she has. Because what she's trying to do is not just honour the fact that Leave won, but also appease and find a way to appease the 16.4 million people who voted to stay. She's, oh yeah, take a shot for every lie. I have an entire bottle of single barrel, brand new. I would be fucked if I did that. You're already hard. I read that's already hard.
I have a full fucking mixed drink right now, and I'm just like, no, I'm gonna...
I would say Trops is right, though. It is a lie. Hello, Devanor.
In 2016, we gave the British people a choice.
Yeah,
Against all predictions, the British people voted to leave the European Union.
That's because the European Union is shit and you arrogant fucks didn't consider what would happen if you pissed us off.
I feel as certain today as I did 3 years ago that in a democracy, if you give people a choice, you have a duty to implement what they decide. I have done my best to do that.
Lol.
I negotiated the terms of our exit and a new relationship with our closest neighbours that protects jobs, our security, and our union.
Lie. I would say the moment this could have all gone smoothly, but the moment you fucked up was when the joint agreement was signed in December 2017. Because in that was the mention of the one thing that has lingered for nearly 18 months. The fucking backstop. If that had never come up, this could have gotten through. If a solution could have been thought of that didn't involve creating a vassal state where Northern Ireland would remain a part of the EU, then it was possible. Oh dear, her nose growing every time she lies.
Real quick, I want to make sure this is saved in the stream. Ira Bear, quote, "I'm so turned on that I've turned on the LED lights on my keyboard. It looks like the LGBT community jizz on their flag and shoved it under my keys."
I'm going to, in solidarity with Irate Bear, I've just done the same thing. And mine is from green to orange, red to pink to violet to blue. Yeah, I'm turned on right now.
I have done everything I can to convince MPs to back that deal.
You did, to the point where you begged them at the 11th hour. The problem here was, the majority of MPs want to remain. How are you going to get them to agree to leave when they don't want to leave? Many of whom will be losing their seats at the next general election, probably to a
Huzzah!
Right. Collect your P45s at the doors, lads. And you'll be replaced by a smug fuck called Nigel Farage.
And his ilk.
And his common oiks.
Sadly, I have not been able to do so.
That's because you're a frit, you are weak. You suck Corbyn's feet. Anyway.
I tried 3 times. I believe it was right to persevere, even when the odds against success seemed high.
Well, they did diminish. Odds of success improved each time you brought forward the same deal after giving it a little scrub with Mr. Sheen. For those who don't know what that is, that's polish. You didn't actually change a deal, and you were going to bring it forward for a 4th time. In fact, that was going to happen probably next week.
I'm still pissed that she said she was trying to save, or she was trying to do what was best for the nation. Meanwhile, the EU is literally an enterprise that robs the individual states of their rights.
Well, they want them to give more up, so yeah. And we'll get to some of that in a bit, the fallout with the EU with regards to this. They've said a few things. I did notice it. I didn't write any of it down. It's all from memory. I should have put it in my book. I do apologise, people, but it was so hard to write anything down when both my hands are on my cock.
I was gonna say it's because he was too hard for
But
it.
it is now clear to me that it is in the best interests of the country for a new Prime Minister to lead that effort. So I am to...
Right, before she continues, Irid Bear, Omegon, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Conservatives will now hold a leadership election race. This then might be followed by a general election? Yes and no. She is not stepping down till June 7th, which will be shortly after Donald Trump's official state visit. Hello, Alexandra. Hope you're well. And number one. And Jeff Jones, hello. So this will happen after, which is weird because that means Donald Trump is then going to come face to face with somebody who won't even be the head of state, or not head of state, but the most powerful political person in the country, not that she wants to begin with, to then meet up with them officially for a state visit, who is just weak. There will be a leadership race. We'll get to after this video. I know 3 of the candidates so far, possibly 4 actually when I think about it, and Boris Johnson is one of them. And with regards to the zipline remark, Shaka bra.
Today announcing that I will resign as leader of the Conservative and Unionist Party on Friday the 7th of June, so that a successor can be chosen. I've agreed with the party chairman and with the chairman of the 1922 committee that the process for electing a new leader should begin in the following week.
That actually confused me. Does that mean within this week or the week after she leaves? Because I assume this has to be dealt with, a new person has to be selected before she steps down. I'm not familiar with the process.
That would make sense, obviously, right?
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with this process. I do find it fascinating that this is the second female Prime Minister we've ever had. Will she actually leave? Of course she has to. She has to now. The second female Prime Minister also to be stabbed in the back by her own party. Never to be voted, not to be voted out of office, to be stabbed in the back, literally by her own party. And
Et tu, Brute?
I don't want to. I don't want to be drawn on the gender-related remarks on like women in office, or like, 'cause I've seen people do that today, and I don't care. I just find it fascinating. 2 women both stabbed in the back. Oh, and I'll answer it before it comes up. Devonal, thank you for the donation. How now the question is, will her successor be decent? We'll get to those soon enough, I promise you. Once this video is done, we're going to look at some of the potential successors. Because there are 4 that I know of, one of whom is female, the other 3 are... well...
not?
we'll get to it.
Kept Her Majesty the Queen fully informed of my intentions, and I will continue to serve as her Prime Minister until the process has concluded. It is, and will always remain, a matter of deep regret to me that I have not been able to deliver Brexit. It will be for my...
You were never going to deliver Brexit. It was impossible. Do you know who should be here right now doing this? Do you know who should actually be there where she is stood as Prime Minister right now?
I don't.
David Cameron. He was the one that called for the referendum. He was the one that said if Leave won, he would do it. And then he would leave. And then when Leave won, he fucking well quit. He should be there right now after negotiating the deal. It should always have been him. And I will say this, I'll give him credit. The pig fucker, yes, exactly, Bear. Right, Cameron is... and no offence to Theresa, but she always has the voice of somebody who is struggling. Always, and that presence. She doesn't have... she doesn't exude power, if you know what I mean.
I have noticed that, actually.
And he is the complete... and even if he may have bumbled this, we don't know if he ever would have. He exuded power. He was very comfortable, confident, and very good at getting what he wanted, even though he fucked up the negotiations which led to the entire thing in the first place. But I believe he might have had the potential to do a little better than her, but I still think he also would never have got it through Parliament.
Have you noticed, actually, now that I think about it, the ones who are in power, who do not possess the, we'll call it cojones.
Gravitas.
To stand on their own and command that presence like a leader should.
Yeah.
Have you noticed they're all advocates for a left-wing policy, whether or not the letter next to their name says they are?
Well, like even Corbyn, he struggles to the point where in PMQs, and people will notice this. If you watch PMQs when I cover it, whenever he speaks up, you'll hear people behind him saying, "Go on, Jeremy." Which is remarkably patronising. I mean, it's got to the point where I think the Conservatives are going to start doing it just to fuck with him. Which I honestly would do that. I would do that as well if I was on the Conservative side. I would.
Well, it feels a little bit like a WWE thing, doesn't it? Like when Steve Austin yells, "What?"
Hello, Sarah Storm. And many on 30. I think it'd be fantastic to be on the opposite benches and just be like, when Corbyn goes to speak up, "Go on, Jeremy, work the body. Why don't you tag in your butt buddy?" Ah, carrying on.
Successor to seek a way forward that honours the result of the referendum.
There is no successor that can do that. Not one. And we'll get to some of the names of it, and I'll prove it. There is not one candidate that can deliver Brexit unless it is no deal. Because there is not a single person, not a single one, that can actually get a deal through, since negotiations already collapsed with the Labour Party. Which means the only thing that could happen, besides revoking Article 50, would be no deal. And I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to Halloween, because, come on, isn't it apt that something that scares so many people so much, no deal, happen on the supposedly scariest day of the year? Hello, Raphael Perry.
It's witching hour, boys.
Oh dear. The rioting in the streets. So many bins will be knocked over. Poor innocent bins.
To succeed, he or she will have to find consensus in Parliament where I have not.
Lol.
Such a consensus can only be reached if those on all sides of the debate are willing to compromise.
Unlikely.
For many years, the great humanitarian Sir Nicholas Winton, who saved the lives of hundreds of children by arranging their evacuation from Nazi-occupied Czechoslovakia through the Kinder transport, was my constituent in Maidenhead.
You're about to find out. She's telling a story for a reason, I think. I think he gave her advice. I think that's what it was. I watched this once, and this part kind of... It's like... to me, it reminded me of many, many songs where they randomly insert like what they consider a non sequitur. So you just get rid of that. Get rid of the anecdote. I don't need it. Dickhead. Fuck consensus. It's never going to happen. Exactly. It's an absolute...
I mean, they're different parties for a fucking reason.
It's not just that. It's how far one party has gone and the accusations of the other party having gone the other way. It's not the truth at all. It's always been the Conservative. And that name is key. Conservative, which is considered right of centre, typically. Although I would argue, since most people agree we live in a liberally democratic country, it's more left of centre. But there are people who still hold on to values that are right of centre. And
Interestingly enough,
go on.
The Conservatives also are much more right-brained, that being the organized objective.
Fiscally responsible is an argument brought forward. And then others will say, yes, but it's led to poverty. I know it has.
Well, of course the other side would say that. They're the ones who are empathetic, who are humanitarian,
it's
who
not
are
just
creative.
that. But it was also those same people that created the problem that led to the austerity. I'm sorry, but I lived through this. I was unemployed for most of it. It was absolute agony. Living on £5 a week to buy food was really difficult. And yes, I know physical conservatism is different from social. I'm very much aware of that. Thank you, Beechin. Oh, it's loading. There we go.
At another time of political controversy, a few years before his death, he took me to one side at a local event and gave me a piece of advice. He said, "Never forget that compromise is not a dirty word.
Carrying on.
Life depends on compromise."
Yes, it does. But unfortunately for you, what will be the damning statement for your premiership will be the fact that many will point out the contradiction that featured regularly in Parliament, where many would indicate that you had red lines. And it wasn't until near March 29th when you finally decided to try and dull those lines a little and reach out to other people to then get a thing through Parliament, to get your deal through for the third time, which failed, and then you had to beg for that extension. Ventilo, Emily says, done. Whiff waff. Oh, yeah, whiff waff. Jesus Christ. Whiff waff.
He was right. As we strive to find the compromises we need in our politics, whether to deliver Brexit or to restore devolved government in Northern Ireland, we must remember what brought us here. Because the referendum was not just a call to leave the EU,
Yes,
but
it was.
for profound change in our country.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't, but there is an argument that can be made that a lot of it was a protest vote. And hello, Cynical Lindsay. I do agree there was a protest vote in that, much like in the 2015 election, which led to the rise of UKIP, even though they got no seats. I think there is an argument for that. And I think it's because so many people felt alienated that that their hand was forced. But in the grand scheme of things, no. No, you're wrong. Sorry, Theresa.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that you guys were a country before the EU, so how much is this really protecting, or it's unstabilizing your country?
I'm just going to say,
you guys were a thing beforehand.
I'm just going to say we were a country before most of the countries in the EU.
well, yeah, because what is it? Most of those
were states or different countries altogether.
The Czech states were a part of something larger.
Germany was a bunch of kingdoms. Spain was a bunch of individual states. Now, the list goes on, and others had different names entirely. And obviously, what was and wasn't Europe was different too.
I mean, fucking the Ottoman Empire was what, only some 90 years ago?
Something like that.
A call to make the United Kingdom a country that truly works for everyone.
Well, that's not possible. In fact, that goes against what happens normally. There is a winner in any election, and there's a loser. You're never going to appease the losers, so instead you implement your policies and hope eventually they become less of a bitch.
I'm proud of the progress we have made over the last 3 years. We have completed the work that David Cameron and George Osborne started. The deficit is almost eliminated. Our national debt is falling, and we are bringing an end to austerity.
That's interesting, bringing an end to austerity. Because she actually said austerity, when the last budget was read, I believe the term was austerity has come to an end. But now it's coming to an end, which implies it goes on a bit longer. Now, I do agree, budget deficit has gone down, our debt interest has gone down. It was 9.9% when they took office. 9.9% of our gross GDP, was spent on debt interest. 10% of what we make a year. How the that's just that was out of order. And that was only going to get bigger and bigger because there was no solution at the time that didn't involve hurting a lot of people. And yeah, Bear, you're right, I know. Hello, Jeff Jones. And yes, it was.
My focus has been on ensuring that the good jobs of the future will be created in communities across the whole country, not just in London and the South East.
I'm just going to say now, I live in the South East. I don't see any benefits around here. In fact, most people around the rest of the UK call the South East that place where the bums go to drink. Because there's just not much work or anything around here. Most of the work is London and in other cities further north. So don't lump us in the South East with you London fucks.
Through our modern industrial strategy, we have helped more people than ever enjoy the security of a job.
Lol.
We are building more homes and helping first-time buyers onto the housing ladder.
True.
So young people can enjoy the opportunities their parents did.
Well, my mum and dad didn't, and nor did I for that matter. I don't own a home. My parents didn't own a home. You know why? Because they were so expensive and because it was impossible to get on the ladder. Fuckers.
And we are protecting the environment, eliminating plastic waste, tackling climate change, and improving air quality.
I'll give them credit, they are doing this. In fact, like refuse bags, or carry bags people use in grocery stores.
Yeah, plastic bags. Yeah.
Right, yeah, well, we've replaced them now with this polymer version that biodegrades.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you have to pay 5 people for a carry bag now, which I support. I think it's fantastic. I personally use a tote bag, but only because I have one. Because seriously, why would I pay 5p for a fucking bag?
Yeah, we've instituted a lot of policies where people would either bring in old cardboard boxes to move things from like Lidl,
Yeah.
which is a German
Oh, I know what
grocery
Lidl.
store
I
that
know what
moved-
Lidl is. We have
Yeah.
one. We're getting one. We have an Aldi being built right now. In fact,
It's actually not that bad.
we had a Lidl when I was growing up, and this is a brilliant story. I had a migraine because I always get them, and I was running down the corridor, one of the aisles with my dad, because I'd just seen something. And the thing is, I have this response when I have a migraine. There's one food, if I see it, I throw up. I don't know why, but I saw it, and I was 8. I bolted down the aisle to try and throw up outside the store. I got right up to the till and threw up on the conveyor belt. My dad, he got to me and decided, yeah, I'm not helping him. Nah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pretend I don't know you.
The funniest part was that conveyor belt went. It carried on.
Oh no!
The lumps. Oh dear.
Oh god,
I literally blew chunks that got stuck in the thing. The hippie news pleased with this fucking hell karma. Carry on with what you were saying. Go on.
Yeah, we've instituted canvas bags.
Oh yeah. We call them tote bags. Yeah.
Yep. It's just more specific, but cardboard boxes, canvas bags, whatever you can move. Basically, the idea is just recycling.
Yeah, I'm totally up for that. And I know it's nasty, guys. I like Lidl. I loved the sweets when I was a kid. I had a migraine, saw a coconut. Nah, we're done.
Coconuts are fucking weird.
They are, and I love them, but for some odd reason I throw up when I have a headache and I see one. It's a weird response.
This is what a decent, moderate and patriotic Conservative government, on the common ground of
Did she say patriotic?
She did.
Racist.
British politics, can achieve, even as we tackle the biggest peacetime challenge any government has faced.
She's totally on board with that. She's about to say something else soon, and it might partially trigger me.
I know that the Conservative Party can renew itself in the years ahead, that we can deliver Brexit and serve the British people with policies inspired by our values.
Lol.
Security, freedom and opportunity. Those values have guided me throughout my career. But the unique privilege of this office is to use this platform to give a voice to the voiceless, to fight the burning injustices that still scar
Burning injustices, right.
Is that
our
really?
society.
Wait, hold on. Is
Go on.
that really the job of the Prime Minister? Because I would have thought it would have been the voice of the nation to the other nations.
She's the face. She's top dog. Any policy that's considered goes through her. Her secretaries then will devise the policies and she will then greenlight them. But she, as we know, micromanages everything.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you're the voice for the voiceless. That's what representatives are for.
No, she's the complete opposite of the voice of the voiceless.
Exactly.
She is the antithesis of it. Is that the word?
Fucking BS. Yeah.
society. That is why I put proper funding for mental health at the heart of our NHS long-term plan.
Well, okay, so this is called parity of esteem, where mental health is being given equal treatment to that of physical ailments. I totally support it. Unfortunately, we don't have enough specialists to deal with it, meaning it's all good giving them more funding, but they don't have the people in place to actually do it. I know this because there are no therapists around anywhere near where I live on the NHS. There are only private ones, hello Reason Vision, and I can't afford them. I wouldn't mind going to see one perhaps for the anxiety issue. Hello UK Skin, that's an odd name. Love it. But it's a very odd situation to be in where you can only get private and they won't even take you on as NHS. So it's all good doing that, which I could totally support, but you haven't got the people in place to actually make it worthwhile. And I know Irate Bear can agree with me on this because he's done a few. I think he's done a live stream with 1 or 2 people on this about mental health in the UK.
It's why I'm ending the postcode lottery for survivors of domestic abuse.
I don't know what that is. The
either.
postcode lottery. for victims of domestic abuse. That just reeks of bad. That reeks of like you've all been say you've got a dozen homes. Every man or woman, there's been one person in every house has been beaten, and instead we just rolled a d12. So, and I'm sorry, what are they supposed to do then? Pass a courage test? Shit.
It is why the race
I just conflated Warhammer again, didn't I?
Yes, you did. I wasn't going to say anything about it.
Fuck's sake.
disparity audit and gender pay reporting are shining a light on inequality, so it has nowhere to hide.
Oh.
And it is why I set up the independent public inquiry into the tragedy at Grenfell Tower, to search for the truth, so nothing like it can ever happen again.
It only happened because the company cut corners. It wasn't the fault of government. It was the fault of the company that cut the corners to put the wrong cladding on to save money.
Here's an interesting thought. Was that company subsidized by the government?
They were given funding, yes.
Okay.
I do sort of think
I'm trying to point that out.
Yeah. Okay, you got a point there. There should be some I don't know what you call it, oversight. Is that overreach? I don't know, whatever it is that has some eyes and ears on the ground, I guess. However, it is still not the fault of. I don't believe it is the fault of government. I think it's possibly some blame could be laid at local government. Who's non-Omegon? Not me. That's Trups LP. Channel link in the description. He's the guy that did a guest video for me yesterday morning. Say hello, Trups LP.
Hello, Trups LP?
It says who's non-Omegon in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Fucking me.
Him. Yeah.
And so the people who lost their lives that night are never forgotten.
Oh, they will be eventually.
Because this country is a union. Not just a family of 4 nations, but a union of people. All of us. Whatever our background, the colour of our skin, or who we love, we stand together.
Lol.
And together, we have a great future.
We only stand together when we queue.
Our politics may be under strain, but there is so much that is good about this country. So much
Our country is literally 80.
to be proud of. So much to be optimistic about. I will shortly leave the job that it has been the honour of my life to hold.
Did you hear it happen there?
No, I don't think
Her
so.
voice just cracked.
Oh, yes, then. I did.
She's about to cry. I'm not even lying. Pants down,
The
boys.
second female Prime Minister, but certainly not the last. I do so with no ill will,
Lube out, boys.
but with enormous and enduring gratitude to have had the opportunity to serve the country I love.
I'm saluting like Rimmer from Red Dwarf here, fam. Okay, so I won't rag on her too much for being very emotional about this. She's just been in a job that meant the world to her. And I genuinely mean this. I feel bad for her because of what has happened. Oh, Jesus, Bear came and even gave us his call. I do feel sorry for her in that regard. But she fundamentally failed to deliver on her promises. And she failed because she was not the right person for the job.
This is something that I have a hard time actually dealing with personally when it comes to deciding if I like or dislike a politician, because they honestly I have to give some of them the benefit of the doubt and say that they honestly tried to do what they thought was right, and
Yes.
they didn't get there. And so I have a really hard time with differentiating between people who are just outwardly insincere and disingenuous, and then people who are trying their best and it just doesn't pan out.
I believe it's the latter with her. I really do. Because she was always in a difficult position to deliver on this. So all she could do was try and deliver on it. And the problem she had is there was no variant on what she managed to get in the deal that would have ever gotten the majority in Parliament. It was just never going to happen because even though she really wanted to honour the agreement, she couldn't do it. she couldn't get a better. I mean, it wasn't even that the deal was the deal was bad, but the improvements that people wanted to make to it actually made the deal even worse, because it meant essentially remaining and having no say.
Right.
So perhaps to the chat, Calm has asked, what does this mean for Brexit? It means that it continues as if nothing happened. For the next couple of weeks, we're going to be wasting... Hello, Chris Parlett. It means we're going to be wasting more time. We're going to be wasting more time with, obviously, an internal election. 4 of the main candidates I know of... Oh, trying not to, for some reason, hiccup. Okay, done. So the 4 main candidates I know of. Andrea Leadsom, who was the head of the Conservative Party, the Commons leader, as they're called. She's going for it. She's not going to win. Other candidates would include Dominic Raab, very young. He was former Brexit secretary after David Davis. People do favour him because he's young, he's a Brexiteer, but he's also quite moderate and calm. The more popular, would be Boris Johnson. I think he stands a huge chance of winning. If he doesn't win, oh dear. His career might be in ruin at that point, maybe not, because whoever wins, and if it isn't him, he may well take over from them if the Conservatives lose at the next general election, which I think they will. And the final one I know of is the current, I believe, Foreign Secretary, Jeremy Hunt, or as he was once called on radio, Jeremy Cunt, by accident. Jeremy Hunt is the single most punchable face in the entire world. Priti Patel's not going to win it. Esther McVie is definitely not going to win it. Steve Baker, no. Graham Brady, the current head of the 1922 committee and chair of the party, no, he's not going to win it. Nor's Rory Stewart. They are all delusional. Okay? Boris Johnson stands a chance. Hunt does too. Raab does. Leadsom does not. So I think ultimately...
Who was the young moderate that you mentioned?
Dominic Raab.
I think he, in any other social climate, he would win. However, and this perhaps is a indicator for your guys' results as well, but there has been a massive nationalistic and populist surge throughout most of the world.
Yeah.
A lot of governments are going the way of, we need to protect our own first.
Yes.
I think India's president just won re-election, and he was campaigning on populist views.
Populism is rising. Italy certainly had that as well. Hungary.
Italy as well, yeah.
Renovatio in the chat, isn't Michael Gove going for it? Michael Gove is the very reason Boris Johnson isn't Prime Minister now, because he stabbed Boris Johnson in the back. If he does, he'll never win it. Gove has got quite a good voice in Parliament, but he's also quite easily ruffled. I think it's either between Raab or Johnson, and it's not a youth that would actually lose this, or the populist stuff, because this is done in the party. Party members vote on this, which means it really is up in the air. If a Brexiteer does win it, there's going to be an issue with members of the party, the current cabinet, who may not want to support Boris Johnson. However, it is still possible. Yeah, I'll wait for it to pop. However, it is still likely Boris Johnson or Raab will win. I think they're the two most likely. Hunt, I think he's a Remainer. He may win. I really don't see anyone else winning it. And Ding Dong the Witch will be dead on June 7th, after Trump's state visit, which we should quickly mention, actually, because I do recall, do you remember that baby balloon of him?
Yes.
Yeah, they've done a new campaign to try and get a bigger one when he next comes by.
Oh, I hope so, because honestly, it was a little disappointing. I was hoping for something massive.
Well, when someone mentioned the dimensions, I do recall thinking to myself, isn't my bedroom bigger? And I was like, it was a bit underwhelming, but at the same time, hello, Carillius.
Oh, I mean, yeah, of course, but like, I honestly was thinking like some Thanksgiving Day parade float.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, you saw the Italy parade where Trump was the God Emperor, right?
I did, and it was very funny.
I mean, that thing was huge.
Yeah, I have to admit, I was very impressed. Fallout from this, by the way, so I should address it. EU has said that they want this dealt with quickly. And understandably so, because they want to get back to the whole, negotiating and MEP elections, which we'll know the results of on Sunday, and if it goes badly, or goes anyway, really, I will, of course, stream on it. I'm going to be streaming Minecraft anyway Sunday, but I will, on Monday, if I have to, stream about the EU MEP results, because that could be fun. I don't know, I might get some people on. If Trops is free, maybe him too, but we'll talk about that later, maybe. But with EU, some of the leaders, France, the Netherlands, have outright said, we're not renegotiating the deal with a new leader. This is it. You leave on October 31st or whatever Halloween is. That's it. Deal or no deal. And EU has actually already started ramping up no deal preparation, which is good news because it's preferable right now. I know Jeremy Corbyn spoke out, and he's taken a bit of flack because he's kind of twisted the knife in. I believe if you go to his Twitter, you'll see it, unless he deleted it by now. He chose some poor words. A number of MPs have actually just done the more commonly acceptable and reasonable thing to do, and praised Theresa May for what she's done. Thank you, Duck Dog. I'm now starting to AMF. What does AMF mean?
I don't know.
I don't either. I'm sorry. Thank you for the $2 donation. I think we're now in a position. We're in a bit of, I guess, for the next few weeks. We're going to be in limbo until we know who the leader is. We're going to be waiting for whoever the leader is to step up and indicate to us what they want to do going forward. I know Corbyn wants a general election. He's not going to get it. Conservatives are in power until 2022, and they can stay there until then. A new leader has to get this party united if they want to stand any chance of winning in that election. If they do, by the way, that would be absolutely amazing to know Corbyn has essentially lasted about, well, by then, 7 years as the leader of a party he never stood a chance of beating. And I would point out, Corbyn couldn't beat May, and May is weak. What does that say if he goes up against somebody with any oomph, any balls, any character or personality to throw back or throw down, without
Honestly,
the need of...
As long as they're not anti-Semites, they'll probably do better.
No. The problem is, people will throw at the Conservatives. They're the Islamophobics. If it's Boris Johnson, it could be interesting because he doesn't need a script to speak. He speaks. He's incredibly intelligent, and this is something people don't realise. The reason that guy was invited back onto shows like Have I Got News For You so many times wasn't just because he bubbled his words, it's because of how intelligent he is. He is freakishly intelligent. He doesn't need someone to stand behind him, passing him notes all the time. And that's why he's good at what he does. People like Jacob Rees-Mogg and a number of other politicians were interviewed today, all of them saying they were going to back Boris Johnson. If Boris Johnson wins, he will win in 2022. That is a fact. There's no way he loses. Not because... And people can throw cards at him about anything they want, really. They may as well just attack the fact that he's scruffier than Jeremy Corbyn. But he'll still win because he's smarter. I'm done with this.
That's fine. It's basically... This is probably the biggest, plot shift since the election itself, huh? Or rather, May's refusal to accept the results of the election.
Yeah. Renovation says the Tories attack each other. Corbyn offers the United Front. Problem is, the United Front is his backbenchers don't agree with him. He is weak. Anyway, before we leave, is there anything you would like to shill?
Well, I want to thank everybody who appreciated or at least entertained my video on Meg's channel earlier this week. I did actually reach my 500 subscriber goal thanks to that little shout out. So I appreciate Meg, and thanks to all of you who did subscribe. Yeah, thanks. Right. But otherwise, my channel link is in the description as always.
I'm going to be streaming. Oh, actually, I put a new video up on the Moisky Reads channel. It's called The Book. It's from H.P. Lovecraft. If you're interested, please go there and give it a like and watch it, perhaps. It's not linked, though. I should probably go and get it. I am going to be streaming on Sunday on the game channel, because reasons. A bit of consistency, perhaps. And I know that my friend Disc and I is currently streaming, if anyone wants to go and watch him.
Ooh, is Pencil still streaming?
Oh, that's a point. No, she's not. But Discanal is. I think he's streaming Minecraft. I would go and get his. I'll go and get his channel link quickly, because he's a nice guy, and he'll moan if people don't go, and yeah, I'll go and get the link. 'Cause I'm not going to share it because I can't be bothered. But yes, please go to my video at least. Smash the like button. So yeah, I think we're done here. Say goodnight, Trups.
Good night, Trubs.
Good night, Trups.